Hi, my name is Dale Maley. In this video today, I'm going to explain how I've simplified the design of the dividers often used in marble games. Now, I made more than 10 of these dividers the past couple of years, and as I've gone along, I've tried to simplify the design and make them work better as well. So what I'm going to show you today is my most improved version that I have as of January of 2024. And as you can look at the drawing, I decided to keep the back piece and the base 3/4 of an inch thick. Why is that? Well, it's not needed for strength of the little divider box, but it's a great place for attaching screws if you want to attach the divider to your marble game, or you want to attach the chutes, the two exit chutes at the bottom. It's a great right thickness for using wood screws. Now, the upper yellow two pieces, they could be made out of either a one or a two-piece design. The two-piece is probably going to take you a while to do some setups to get the little rabbets cut in there. Where the two-piece, you can just use a saw, make the pieces and glue them together. So whichever way you find the easiest. Now here's an exploded view of the marble divider with all the pieces. Now if you use a one-piece design on the yellow pieces, there's a total of 10 pieces. If you decide to use the two-piece design on the yellow pieces, then you'd have 12 total pieces. There's only two moving parts in here, the little flipper and its axle. Those are the only two moving parts. I use a piece of 1/8 inch brass rod for the shaft for the flipper, shown in red. And then I usually retain that brass shaft. It's on the outside of the divider box. I take some hot melt glue on one side and just glue it on, and that's adequate to retain it. Most of the pieces can be made out of pine. However, I would make the flipper out of a hardwood because it sees so many impacts from the marbles. So I use a good hardwood like oak, maple, walnut, beech, any of the hardwoods. This drawing shows most, not all, of the dimensions that you need to build one of these marble divider boxes. And overall dimensions, it's 4 5/8 wide. It's 1.5 plus 3/4, so 2 1/4 high on that side. And I'm using 1-inch marbles for this model. If you want to use standard 5/8 marbles, you'd have to scale the divider box down, and it still works fine for the finer marbles as well. Here's a drawing for the front piece of the marble divider box, made out of 1/4 inch pine. And you do have to drill a hole for that 1/8 inch diameter brass shaft or axle. So I drill it a hair bigger, like 5/32, to give it a little bit of clearance. The marble enters the divider box, falls down on the flipper. The flipper directs it either to the right or to the left. And when the marble comes off the flipper, then it lands on one of these wedges, and they're basically 6-degree little spacers. And the 6 degrees is plenty to cause the marble to want to roll out of the divider box. 2 of these are required for each marble divider you build. Now here's a drawing of the 2 little spacers that go on top of the divider box. As I mentioned before, you can choose to either make these out of one piece, or you could make 2 pieces and glue them up together. I've done it both ways. Actually, I've switched over to the 2-piece design because it doesn't really take any additional equipment or setups. I can just make these on a table saw and a chop saw. Now here's a drawing of the piece where the marble actually enters the divider box. That's that little notch shown there in the top. Here's a drawing of the axle that the little flipper rotates on. I've been using 1/8 inch diameter brass rods, and then I hot melt glue one end of the rod to the outside of the divider box to retain it. Why do I use brass? Well, I make my models to last for decades, hopefully, and if I use steel, they would eventually rust. You could use steel, and it probably is good for several years, but I just choose to use brass because it'll never rust. Here's a drawing of the last piece that you need to finish building the divider box. One could argue the most important piece because it's the flipper that directs the marble either to the right or to the left. And as I recommended before, I would choose a hardwood to make this because it sees so many impacts from the marbles. I included one dimension so you could scale this to get the shape. I will try to include a link in the comments to a PDF file that has all these drawings as well. So in summary, this video explains how to make a marble divider that discharges the marble in alternate directions automatically. Hope you've enjoyed this short video, and please subscribe. Thank you.